go out there and show that you can, because once you engage with the company and you do a great job for them virtually, guess what? They're going to have you in mind when all this is done to have you in person.
Hello and welcome. I am Wendy Blum Weiss. This is Redefine Yourself During Times of Uncertainty. And now is the time to actually reinvent yourself, especially if you're a performer or speaker and looking for ways to take your events and make them virtual. And so I'm super excited to introduce our guest, who is known as the mind hacker. He's a mentalist, he's a performer, and he teaches speakers and performers how to take their talents and their events and make them virtual. So welcome, Alan Chamo.
Hey, Wendy. Thank you for having me.
Well, this is a really important conversation. And all of us now have quickly become up to speed or starting to get up to speed on Zoom. And we now have created offices out of our homes, and we're starting to do virtual events. And so let me ask you, had you been doing virtual events before the quarantine and before COVID?
Well, before COVID, no, never done a virtual event. Maybe a few Zoom meetings, but nothing more than that. My main thing was performing in large convention centers, corporate events, cruise lines. Cruise lines are big lines. So that was it was all live, big stages. I just started with COVID. You know?
That's so interesting. And you really took what could be a negative situation and turned it into an opportunity to take these. And now you do this. Now you have virtual events where you bring on hundreds of people to events and you teach them how to do the same thing in their business.
Yeah, well, I perform by myself. I mean, for companies, I do team building events, happy hours. I even started doing from time to time a few birthday parties, which I never done before that. So now we have more time because there's no need for travel. So I can put in more shows during the same day. And with so much experience that I got learning all this and noticing that my fellow entertainers and speakers, some of them, have some challenges, and understandably I still have a lot of questions and certain tech problems that I need to figure out. So I started helping entertainers and speakers in their virtual journey. Yeah.
Well, it's so interesting because I had started a coaching group online prior to COVID, and then having to learn at a whole new level that this is the new normal. So whether it's seeing clients one-on-one through Zoom, or learning how to record and learning how to translate what you do on stage and to be able to translate in a different way without an audience, because you as a performer, you're used to getting the energy back from the audience. So where would you say somebody starts if they haven't really quite ventured out, or they're trying to figure out the new virtual way of doing things? Where do they start?
That's a great question. And I think that the best way to start is just start. Basically, don't get into all the minutiae of I don't have the perfect microphone or the professional camera or my lighting. Forget about everything. Just if you have your laptop, open up your laptop, open up Zoom or whatever platform that is good for you, because each entertainer has a different need, and just do it. The first show, just send an email out to your list or take your family and friends and just do it for them. That's the best way to learn, and this is where you're going to learn what you need, what was the difficult, and make sure you record it, of course. Just don't we all get into excuses. Yes, I'll start next week or next month. I need to wait for this microphone to arrive and this connection for that. And I've been there, done it. It's just, I started my first show back in April, just with an old 2013 laptop, and you know what? And I think you can use a lot of the things that you've been using up until now on your live shows. You can apply it. You can use it. You can implement those for the virtual shows. For example, the microphone I'm using right now, it's a microphone that I use for my stage shows. So
Yeah, the microphone that you're using, I'm not even using a microphone. And I even shared with you before we went live that because there's an echo in the room, I just brought in extra rugs and pillows to absorb some of that because we're not plugged in with a microphone. So you just improvise, which is part of performing, right? You figure out how to improvise. I love what you said about family and friends, like to start out like with your inner core, with your tribe, so you can figure it out. And I think that everyone's more forgiving. Are you finding that they're more forgiving? They're not like really expecting perfection right now. And this is a good time to experiment.
Yes, I agree. And they're very appreciative of anybody that is able to engage with their audience, with the client's audience, with the event planner audience, the meeting planner, or whoever it is that is hiring you. Very, very appreciative. If you manage to engage them even for 15, 20 minutes, you made it. So yeah, you can just go out there and do it, and you have to make some mistakes, just like you did when you started doing what you're doing on stage.
Yeah, absolutely. You think about as a performer or as a speaker, the fear in your gut, and you did it and you still did it anyway, and you're still going to have that fear. And now we're just, we're experiencing fear in the outer world. Like we're going through that in our lives. And so now it becomes just part of the adaptability of figuring things out. So do you like Zoom as a platform?
For me, Zoom is the best platform for what I do. It might be not the best platform for example, I know that for musicians, Zoom is not that great due to sound difficulties or certain situations. So for them, it might be better Facebook Live or YouTube. But for me, Zoom is great because I can see everybody, I can interact with people. My show is all about interacting, it's about reading minds. So I do it with the audience, and part of the experience is for the other people to see the other people and relate. So Zoom is, for me, what works. Yeah. But it's very different, as you mentioned before. You don't get that feedback like you would normally get on stage, and it's a big adjustment. I feel as an entertainer, and I'm sure that everybody that watches this can relate, it's very lonely kind of thing, especially at the beginning, because you're all by yourself in front of a computer, nobody around you. If you do it to Facebook or to YouTube, you don't even see the audience, and there's no feedback. And when you're done, you just click end, and you don't feel that energy that you would feel.
The adrenaline, like after you finish, like get the pumped up. I think that's why it's like really important that the comment section, and if you're watching right now and there's something that you want to ask Alan, I invite you to do so in the comment section. He'll come back in and reply to you, and I will as well, but to be able to get the engagement going. But one of the other things you had mentioned is to be able to see and be able to feel on Zoom. Kind of feels like the Hollywood squares, but then sometimes you have many, many more squares. I know you shared with me a little clip earlier of one of the events that you did as far as performing. Could you play that right now? Do you have that handy that you can play that?
Yeah, it's part of my promo video for virtual shows. I'll just put a little piece. Maybe if anybody wants to watch the whole thing, it's 2 minutes. You can check it out.
I'll put the link below as well.
Okay. Let's see.
Oh my goodness!
What the?
Hello, my name is Alan Chamo. I'm the Mind Hacker. During normal times, I perform on large theaters, annual meetings, and cruise lines around the world. Our new reality has served us some new challenges. But luckily, I've been able to shift and adapt and create a new groundbreaking show through your screen that brings your team together with some mind-blowing mental magic. My specialty is creating mass effects that allows everyone in the audience to interact with the magic and with each other. The answer is yes, I am wearing pants. In this show, each person in the audience is a star. This creates a positive impact on your team that strengthens bonds and brings us all closer together while being physically apart.
8, 6, 1.
I just put a little part. And actually, when I'm watching this, many of those shots are from the first few shows. And when I'm looking at it, it's like, oh my God, what is that in the background? That horrible wall, you know. I'm so judgmental of myself. And I'm pretty sure that maybe 6 months from now, when I watch this video, I'm going to be judgmental about other things that I'm doing right now, that maybe in the future I'm going to think, you know, what was I thinking? So we need to get over all that and just put out our content, put out our material. Because at the end of the day, my motto is, you know, attract the best and reject the rest. Whoever loves you would love you, and whoever doesn't will not watch you. So this is part of what it is, and that's maybe even better now virtually, because, well, you can hear from them because they're gonna put comments. If some people, you know, they don't like something, they might put comment. But I feel that the response is amazing, you know, especially what I'm doing on Zoom. I'm actually learned to really love it and enjoy it. It's something that I think will stay with us even after all this pandemic goes away.
I agree with you. I think, as let's say that you are in the audience, let's say you're not a performer or speaker, it gives you an opportunity to connect with the outer world. So you feel the human connection. And then if you are a speaker, then you're able to share your gifts and your message from, you know, a new platform that helps you reach more people. I know on some of the Zooms I've been doing in the morning is I get people in that come in from Europe and people different parts of the world. They would not be at a local event, so you're able to reach more people. And then you had mentioned recording it, to remember to record it so that then it lives on forever.
Yes, true. Which, by the way, you reminded me to record this one right now, but you're recording it, so.
Yeah, I'm recording it. What I love so much too about all of the features, I'm sure that Zoom is going to add more and more features, is that you can use it in combination with Facebook Live. You can use it in combination with YouTube Live, like we are doing here. And then you use the platform in a corporate setting as well. And so they can add the component of a speaker or performer like you, Alan, to maybe just a regular meeting.
Yeah, I help start meetings, you know, to start on a positive note, you know, entertainment, and also breakout sessions, you know, platforms like Zoom and others. We're talking about Zoom, but there are many others out there as well. So they can have a breakout session where they can divide, you know, and the audience, they can even sometimes choose, okay, I want to go, you know, for my breakout, see Alan Chamo, or I want to go hear this band playing, or so there are different options, and they can have breakout sessions. And you mentioned, you know, that you can transmit to YouTube or Facebook and other platforms, but also you can connect other platforms like I'm doing right now to Zoom. So basically, I'm not right now directly on Zoom. I'm on a different platform like OBS, and it's called the Ecamm, where I can do all this. You know, I put the video, and I was in the on the bottom. I can divide the screen. I can, for example, I have the need to have an overhead camera, so I can just with a click of a button now I can be at the same time and do my magic, okay, and people can see me at the same time. So this creates a better experience, and these tools to do both things at the same time you cannot just do with Zoom. So this is a lot of, you know, the learning curve, things that.
That is fantastic. That's totally fantastic to be able to do the view from up above, and also to your lighting. So you have special effects behind you as well.
Yeah, well, yeah, this is just a simple LED light I got from Amazon for 18 bucks, so there's really, you don't really have to invest a lot to create your little home studio. I started, just as mentioned, with an old laptop, 2013, and with a LED light, one of those from Home Depot that used for construction.
Oh yeah, I once used one of those lights for a video. So just going to Home Depot and picking up. Okay.
So, yeah, and that light, I think it was 20 bucks. So, and I had it at home, but it was too harsh, so you cannot have it direct. So I had to put like a cover on top of it to diffuse the light and put it a little bit going up. So this is how it started. My first shows were like this. I had no background light, yeah, and this, for 18 bucks, you're getting a light with a remote, and you can change the color, put whatever you like, there's many options, but these are simple hacks, that you learn as you go, and that you will notice the need once you start.
And so when you start and you're doing a virtual event and you have no audience, and there you are at the screen as a mind hacker, how do you move through the feeling uncomfortable? Do you have like any words of empowerment that you can give us in the just do it thing?
Well, when I'm doing the Zoom, I have audience, I can see them. So that is, in that aspect, I have the same feeling as I would have before going live on stage. But the difference is that beside that feeling, you also, especially at the beginning, you need, because you are also the tech person. When I go on stage, there's a light tech and sound tech, there's backstage personnel, there's a person that is in charge of anything that you put on video. You have people there that are, part of the theater, part of the team. Right now, I'm everything. And probably you are in the same situation. Some speakers have maybe somebody that helps them. Maybe it's your significant other that can be that tech person and can learn a few things. So before you start the show, you have to get all your tech together, make sure everything you need is ready, your light is correct, the camera is pointing to the right direction. Then you take a few breaths in, or whatever routine that works for you, okay? And then click on, make a big smile. I find that smiling, for me, it helps a lot and helps me connect with the audience on the other side. And you need to adjust, because it's different. When I perform on stage, it's a big theater, and I need to, my posture is looking at everybody and trying to do eye contact with everybody on the second floor, on the first floor, everybody. And here, it's like you're performing through a peephole. You have to imagine, well, you have a little light over there in the camera, so you have to look at the camera, and instead of going like this, maybe you need to, it's a little bit more like that, okay? And try to do eye contact with everybody this way. So these are little things that, you learn as you go. You need to adjust, but it works. It works, and you also need to learn how to cue your audience differently. Cue them to interact with you. So you need to explain to them what are the tools, how you want them to interact. So if it's, for example, when I do a small Zoom show, let's say it's a Zoom meeting for the CEOs and so on, let's say we have maybe 10 people, then I can have everybody unmuted, because the chances are that it's not going to be any noise. But if I have 100 people, I'm going to have all of them muted, and unmuted only when I ask somebody to participate. So when everybody's unmuted, they react, you hear it. It's like, wow, yeah, it's amazing, applause. So in that aspect, it's great, it's perfect. But when everybody's muted, you need to give them the cues and the tools. So you tell them, hey, if you see something that you enjoyed, go like this or go like this. Or there's also on the bottom of your screen, there are interactions. You can put there you go. When they just went with it. Thank you. So, and this is how they're going to interact with you, and you will learn how to get that same feeling that you had before on stage. And it's going to take a little bit of time, not so much, but you will get it.
I'll tell you what I just had to do. I just muted just now because my husband came in from a bicycle ride. And what he does is he has a shake when he comes back in. And I heard him turn on the blender, and I wasn't quite sure if we were going to pick up the sound of him making his shake. So I went ahead, you were talking, so I went ahead and muted myself. You might have heard some of the blender actually before I said, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to mute right now. But Alan is talking, so that's great. But that's real world of what is happening. And if you hear the blender these days, then it's way more forgiving than it would have been 6 months ago. So we're all kind of cool because we've all had the experience of somebody ringing the doorbell right as we're getting ready to go.
I was about to. It happened to me last week. And actually, by the way, if you hear any noise, it's because my wife is in the kitchen right next to me, not far from me, and she's cutting vegetables. So I hope that doesn't go into the sound. Last week I had a show for a company, and I normally put a sign in the door, says, recording session, please don't knock, don't ring, just go away.
I love that idea that you put a sign on your door, or if you're upstairs that you can put it downstairs if you have your kids coming in.
So and apparently I forgot to put it up, and a neighbor, she came ding ding in the middle of the show. But you know what, as you mentioned, people are more forgiving. Everybody's understanding, hey, we're doing it from home, we all have kids. I mean, some of us have kids, so they understand. Right now, my 4 years old is in the other room. She knows that daddy is right now doing a show, and she's keeping quiet. So this is part of the new reality, and we have to deal with it.
Yeah, I think of it like we've got bigger fish to fry right now. Like, there's so much more going on in the world, and that when you have a message in your heart, and if you are sharing your message on a virtual platform of even just helping one person, helping somebody today that's willing, they get inspired, they get empowered, and they say, okay, I'm inspired by Alan, I'm going to go ahead and hit the go live button, I'm going to go ahead and use Zoom, I'm going to go ahead and step into doing virtual events. That just one person, like that's why you do it. You just help one person.
Exactly, and this is exactly why I'm posting more videos on YouTube of simple hacks on how to get your things together to go out and do it, or stay in and do it, and how to use what you have without the need to go out and buy, because everything, let's face it, right now, if you look for like a webcam, prices are skyrocketing. They're marking it up much more because there's more demand. But there are ways that you can use what you already had before, and just maybe with some simple tools. For example, my overhead camera is an old iPhone. Okay, and the arm I'm using is an arm that you would use for microphone. I created it in a simple attachment for that. Actually, I just finished recording a video on how to do that, because I was looking for all that information also on YouTube, and there are so many things that I just couldn't find.
I'll post the link above, or any which way it is.
I'm about to post it this week, so I'll send you all the links for that. And these are simple things. You can use your phone as a camera, and it has great quality. In most of the cases, it will have better quality than most of the webcams out there. So, and I'm using an iPhone 7, not even the latest iPhone. So there are a lot of things you can do. So there's really no need to go, get everything the best. Just just get it going.
Yeah, I really like that because what you have right now in your home is going to be good enough to actually get started. Now, do you recommend going to the basic free plan on Zoom or to upgrade a plan? What do you suggest?
Zoom is very inexpensive. I have the plan that allows you up to 100 people. And by the way, when you're being booked by a company, for let's say for a large event, I'm about to do something for big event for the Air Force. I think it's 10,000 people. Not everybody's going to come to my show, but it's going to be at least, let's say, 500 people. They provide the Zoom link. So these large corporations will use their Zoom account. So you don't have to, I think it's $15 a month, the Zoom account, and gives you unlimited time, because the free plan is only 45 minutes if I'm not mistaken.
I love that. I didn't realize that. So if you're being booked by a company and you need more than 100 people, it doesn't matter because you don't really need to upgrade your Zoom. Just have the basic package that's $15 to be able to do that. And do you also use Zoom just to actually record your videos? So to create video content, just your content that you can use on YouTube, that you can use on social media platforms, or that you can send out to companies using Zoom?
Definitely, yeah. I record every show I do. I record it on Zoom, and Zoom also allows you to record 3 different files. You can record the speaker view, you can record the thumbnails, how do you call the participants, and you can record also the sound separate, and you can also get an extra file for all the comments. So yeah, and then you can do whatever you want with it and edit it. So definitely, it's a great tool for that.
Zoom is a great platform, hopefully too. It's some of the people that are watching have invested in Zoom because it's Zoom. They have such a good name actually, and so timely.
I didn't buy any stocks. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. We're like that and all the workout equipment, it's a really, that's where the demand is right now. But knowing that we are going to be doing virtual events, we don't know when we're going to be going back to doing live events, hopefully soon. But if not, that we have this virtual option, are excited about it and ready to take action about that. So any parting words of wisdom of creating your first virtual event?
Well, before I'm going to get to it, before that, this is also a great time and a great opportunity for those that were starting in their speaking journey or entertainment journey and wanted to get to the next stage and try to maybe get more money per engagement, get to the next level. Because some of those that right now, let's say in the speaker world, are getting $20,000 per engagement or more. Many or most of them just decided, you know what, I'm on a hold. I don't have the need to do this right now. I'm gonna just wait for everything to go away and then I'm gonna come back. And I respect that 100%. If they can do that, good for them. But this is your opportunity to actually go out there and show that you can, because once you engage with the company and you do a great job for them virtually, guess what? They're going to have you in mind when all this is done to have you in person. So this is an opportunity, and I think we should jump on it. And back to your question, what is the first thing? What was the question? What was the first thing that?
Well, now I want to ask you another question just based on what you just said. So where do you find the companies for someone who's starting out and to get paid to speak and do a virtual event? How do you find the contacts or the companies so that you can get those speaking opportunities?
I think that first you need to start with your list and with your past clients, because they already know you, and it's important for them to understand that you can deliver online. They still have problems they need to solve, and you are there to solve that problem. And many times you're going to send them a proposal or an email, and then they're going to say, oh, you know what, that's a great idea. We need to engage with our clients. We need to do maybe happy hour for our team. So it's your job to go out there and try to put that idea in their mind, and then start looking for your niche, what it is, what are conferences that need your expertise, because there are a ton of virtual conferences right now. All the big companies realize that, what, we're not going to do any live conference anytime soon. And you know what, many of them also realize now that it's even better for them. They say, you know what, we don't have to pay for flights, we don't have to pay for hotels, we don't have to pay for a convention center, we don't have to pay for catering, we don't have to pay for all the personnel. We just need good entertainment, good speakers, and a good Zoom plan or whatever it is that they use. And they're realizing, and now is when they even have maybe more budget for you, because before that they had to think, oh, we already paid so much for lighting and for sound and for, that this is what we have for the entertainer or for the speaker. So now they have to invest in quality, engaging entertainment or content. Otherwise, for people to leave, it's just a click of a button and they're out. So they have no other choice but to invest. So, and this is the opportunity for you to go out there and get it. So.
Okay, those are great parting words. And thank you so much for empowering the speakers that are wondering what to do next, to get online, to hit the live button, to reach out to companies, to step into the next level of what they're getting paid, and to go do it now. Now's the perfect time. Thank you so much, Alan, for being here today. And you shared so much wisdom with us. I have all of Alan's links below. Connect with Alan on YouTube, connect with him across all of the platforms. If you're new to my channel, I invite you to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Alan, you are awesome. Thank you everyone for being here.